Monday Talks with the JCPS Youth Service Centers. I am Ava Bartlett, and I'm the Youth Service Center Coordinator for Fairdale High School in Georgia Chappie TAPP. Monday Talks with the JCPS Youth Service Centers will introduce a different community resource to the JCPS community every second and fourth Monday at 1 p.m. Please be sure to tune in. Thank you and have a great day.
Alrighty, so there's our message from Ava. Now I'm going to pass it over to all of you and let our talk get going.
Awesome. We wonderfully thank you for allowing us to come on here today. I'm Madeline Marables with Atherton High School Youth Services Center, and we have some wonderful coordinators with us today to share some insightful information. The first coordinator I would like to introduce to you is Alicia Petaway. And Alicia, if you'll just go ahead and tell what school you're with and who you serve.
Okay, my name is Alicia Petaway, and I am the Family Resource Youth Service Center Coordinator at the Binet School and Seneca High School.
Thank you. And Adrian, can you go ahead and explain what school you're with? Adrian Graham.
Hello, I'm Adrian Graham, the youth. You hear me? Mm-hmm. I'm Adrian Graham, the Youth Services Coordinator at Eastern High School.
Awesome. And we have our wonderful chat moderator today, Miss Anita Moore. If you'll go ahead and tell me a little bit about you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Moore, and I'm the Youth Service Center Coordinator at Olmsted Academy South.
Awesome. This is going to be a really great and exciting day. So I'll go ahead and start with a little historical reference because we had kind of agreed on that to explain a little bit about the Friskies. We started in 1990 under the Kentucky General Assembly, and we passed the CARA reform, which was a landmark piece of legislation. The goal was to achieve equitable educational opportunities for every child in Kentucky. A component that Reform Act was creation of the School-Based Family Resource and Youth Services Center, our FRISCY. The primary goal of these centers were to remove non-academic barriers to learning as a means to enhance student academic success. The mission of the statement of the mission statement by the Division of Family Resource and Youth Services Center to enhance students' abilities to succeed in school by developing and sustaining partnerships that promote early learning and successful transition to school, academic achievement and well-being, and graduation and transition into adult life. There are 107 centers here in Jefferson County, serving 141 schools. We have served numerous students, and we are continuing that progress today. So we're super excited to be here today for you guys to talk a little bit about what we do and how we do it. So I'll start the first question, and I would like to address that question to Alicia. What is the FRISCY, and what does the acronym stand for, the FRYSC, and also what does the YSC stand for?
Okay, so the acronym is Family Resource Youth Service Center. That is the whole acronym. The FRC is the Family Resource Center, and those are typically in elementary school, so from pre-K until 5th grade. And then the YSC, which is Youth Service Center, that is for middle to high. So that could be 6th grade up through high school. Now, there are a couple of coordinators in the district that actually have all of those because of the schools that they serve, and I just happen to be one of them. So I'm actually a FRYSC because I go from kindergarten at the Binet School all the way up to high school at Seneca High School. So
thank you. That is excellent. Thank you. So supportive. Great information. Thank you. And the next question, I'll go ahead and start with Adrian. So Adrian, what are the roles and responsibilities that serve and the services that you offer, please?
So simply put, the roles, responsibilities, and services of a FRISCY are to, as you said, eliminate non-cognitive barriers to learning, right? So we can recognize and understand that the difference between students that do well and the students who struggle a bit, it's not always related to their cognitive abilities, right? So there's a quote that I love. It says that success isn't always measured by the position that one reaches in life, but by the obstacles in which they overcome. And we have students who are constantly faced with obstacles and barriers to their success. So we help them along that way. So the path, for all intents and purposes, the path for some students is smooth, right? So comparatively speaking, some students have, winding roads, rocky roads, peaks, valleys. So our mission and our role is pretty much to help them traverse those that terrain to get through with, the ultimate goal, and that is to graduate. And it's a non-traditional role also. So usually when you think of schools, you think the teachers who are responsible for curriculum and pedagogy. You have counselors who have credit-based pathways to graduation for students and testing. Assistant principals who manage curriculum and behavior in the buildings. And then you have principals who have all that and some. So those are primarily academically focused role groups. Ours is non-academic. So we look at the situations in which students need extra encouragement, extra help. It's not always, like as I said, it's not always what they have up here, but it's what's going on around here that can determine their outcomes, unfortunately. So, in reference to responsibilities, our main responsibility is to pretty much identify and mitigate, assuage inequities and opportunity gaps with our students, just to be overall support for our students. And it's pretty much in line with the with Jefferson County Public Schools mission and core values, namely the aspects on care, which Friskies are pretty much care agents and care specialists, and equity. We are certainly equity agents and specialists in the district. So, I might be biased, but I think it's one of the better roles that in any educational level. Financially, we earn a modest living, but the wealth comes in the fulfillment and the satisfaction we get from the role that we do in the jobs that we serve. So the services are usually unique to each building, right? So we all operate under a core set of components. The Youth Services Center and FRCs have their different components in which they abide by because the levels are so different. But youth services for middle and high, we operate under guidelines for, referrals to health and social services. So the Frisky in your building will likely hold screenings, health-related screenings, and refer you out to, situations or agencies that can help you better serve your own family's needs, whether that's food assistance or, housing or whatever. Many Friskies, you'll be hard to find a Frisky who hasn't walked a family through those situations and even sat in the office with these families or gone to meetings with social workers in relation to some of the needs that they have. So then you also have career exploration and development. So it's important that we have an interest in preparing our students for the next levels once they leave high school. So many of us are heavily involved with, on the high school level at least, college visits. Some hold career fairs, college fairs. I take a group of my ninth grade students, actually all the ninth grade students, to visit a college campus every year. So I want to make sure they see this is what there is. And for the students that don't want to go, there are also resources available and information available for the Jefferson Community and Technical College, technical campus specifically. I've sat in the office and filled out paperwork with them and walked them through career paths that they can go to. Because I just don't like to, when the student says, I'm going to work, we have to understand that it's easy to say I'm going to work when I graduate. But my question is, work where? And how long do you plan on keeping that job if you don't have any post-secondary education or training? So you don't have to necessarily have college, but it has to be something with that. We also have summer and part-time job development as a component because some of our students, unfortunately, are responsible for contributing to the household. So they're not working for new shoes or cell phones or purses. They're working to help keep lights on, help keep food on the table. So we help with that. There's substance abuse education. Counseling is another component. So unfortunately, a lot of our students we have students who struggle with substance abuses. Many of us have even lost students to these substance abuses. So that's something that's very necessary, and many people who are disconnected from the schools won't always realize how important that is on various levels. I mean, even on a middle school level, I wouldn't imagine if it's foreign to elementary in some shape or fashion. So that's an avenue in which we work. Also, the family crisis and mental health counseling. Things happen. Simply put, things happen. Many of us have worked with families who've lost everything in a fire. Many of us work with families who have had to flee unsafe situations. So now they're left with little to nothing to move on and to get through and to succeed or to carry on. On top of those core components, we also work with character education. Just about every Frisky has some degree of character education, conflict mediation, peer mediation type program. All of us are going to assist in grades and credit recovery, just to help. All of us will help with basic needs, school supplies, clothing, whether it's uniform school or not a uniform school. And then food. Some of our students don't eat. There's no food at home. We help with that. So we kind of tailor our services to the building we serve. Each school's different. Some special schools need special services and special attention. The Binet, as Ms. Pettaway said, she can probably speak to that better than I could.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I'll go ahead and see if Alicia would like to speak next.
So Adrian did an excellent job of running down all the components and giving a little bit of information about each one of those. And like he said, I really want people to be reminded that each school is very different. And the coordinator at your school will actually tailor activities and programming based on the needs of the school. So for me, I have the Binet school, and that's a special school. So we do things a little bit different. So a lot of what I would normally do at Seneca is adapt it so that those students have the same opportunities and experiences that my other students have. So it just takes a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of creativity to make sure that those students and families still have everything that they need to be successful.
Excellent. Thank you. That is very good. Thank you. And the next question I'd like to ask, and we'll go ahead and start with Alicia, if you don't mind. How have your roles changed due to our recent pandemic and NTI learning? Please just give a good explanation, please.
Okay, so our role is still the same. We still eliminate barriers to education. We are a little bit more creative in getting that done. We utilize a lot of our community partners to help get those things done. We also are a little bit more creative on how to service our families. So we still provide basic needs services. We still provide some of the same programming. Some of it is virtual, and some of it is done through community partners. A lot of conversations on the phone, since we cannot see our babies, and I say babies because my students are my babies, but because we cannot see our students in person, we do a lot of communicating via telephone and email and all those things, but the services are still the same. We just have to be creative on how we get those done.
Excellent. Thank you. And of course, I know that may vary from school to school, so we appreciate that so much. On the fourth question, and then we'll take from the chat room thereafter, Anita, if you have any questions, just preparing. For the fourth question, what collaborating partners do the YSCs work with, such as in the district, or school, or community? Feel free to elaborate.
So collaboration with YSCs, Friskies in general, YSC is very important. It's a primary tenet of what we do. We work with other bodies. So if you assume each Frisky is on an island and unable to collaborate with anyone, we will still effectively service our families. We can, disaggregate data, analyze data, and be beneficial. But we just kind of widen or increase the depth of services that we can offer when we can collaborate with other entities. So with my students, I always follow ABG premise. Attendance, behavior, grades. So attendance, behavior, and grades are major predictors of a student's success. They're also when you can be proactive in recognizing them can give you insight on students in need. They're all predictors. So to that point, we're on an island. Attendance, I can see truancy records and whether students are coming by the data. But that first line of defense with those teachers, they can say, well, this student hasn't been coming to my class, or this student is coming late to my class. This student is removed from my class, not really paying attention, not engaged. That's a line of defense, and that's a collaborative partner that we have. And then you can go to, buildings have attendance teams. And this is, teachers, assistant principals, counselors, most importantly, the attendance clerk. And we kind of stay on top of the students who are not coming to school. And it ushers in the reasons why. Why aren't you coming to school? Let's find out what's happening here. These students are missing. Why are they missing? And even from a district level, when we have our assistant directors of pupil personnel that come and often a part of our attendance teams, and they help us, kind of figure out what's going on, what's happening. This is what's happening. These are supports the district has. These are suggestions from the district. We're never, I gave the assumption that we're on an island, but we're never really on an island because there's so many collaborative partners surrounding us. And, further with attendance, truancy advocates, and some schools hold truancy court in their buildings. So with behavior, the same thing. Those teachers are first. They get to see those behaviors slipping. They get to recognize those anomalies with each student and call them out. And there are several times where, teachers say, this may not be anything, and those are the ones I love. And I always tell them, let me know. It doesn't matter whether it turns out to actually be something. But just let me know. Let's keep that going. You'll never be bugging me if you're calling me and letting me know, I think this might be something. But with that behavior, we work closely with, our assistant principals. And that's, sometimes they're just saying, hey, I'm this kid, I'm seeing him too much. I need you to do something. I need you to work with him. And I love it because that is restorative. In my building, when students come back from suspension, specifically when there's an offense with another student, they meet with me. And we've had situations where they leave and they're, laughing and joking down the hall, and they recognize what they did was wrong and it was silly and we shouldn't have done it. And there are times where there's, I don't like you, but we can exist together. And unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. But I commend our administration for even having that as an avenue and opening that up and being able to work together and collaborate with that. And then we have our positive behavior intervention supports. And that's within the building and district personnel coming in and looking at the data. What's happening? Where are we going? We've even moved towards kind of redirecting and changing how we discipline in our building based on some of those reports and some of those racial inequities. that we see in those reports. So still being effective is just kind of, changing the way we deliver our services, because the ultimate goal is to take care of all the students, right? So, and then we all contract services and therapists and mentors and programs and to help those students in that. So that's pulling in the community. We've gone small and just expand, and that's how we usually do with every situation, and even with grades. Once again, teachers. The student isn't turning in their work. The student is in danger of failing. They are not keeping up with the class level. What's going on? And they're always predictors. Like I said before, that ABG is always going to be a predictor of a student's success. And if we pay attention, it's a quiet cry for help from those students. So then you have the counselors who, in reference to those grades, we've met about services for students. In this building particularly, we've worked with the counselors and assistant principal. We kind of had like a powwow with students who were failing. This is where you are. This is where you need to be. What can we do in between to get you where you need to be? What needs to happen? More times than not, there are levels to it. There's other layers to it. When you dig deep, I call students pineapples all the time. And it means they're hard on the outside, but sweet on the inside. And it just takes someone to dig in and really see it. And just those collaborative efforts and that work really helps with that. So collaborative partners are important. I can go on and on and on, because it does go on and on. We have, so Friskies in general have psychology, sociology, social work, education, counseling, even business backgrounds, academic backgrounds. But and that lends to our acumen, but it also widens our network of resources. Friskies are among some of the most resourceful people. I'm wowed by some of the people who can get anyone on the phone and reach out to anyone at any time. We're some of the most resourceful people in the district. So, and we've worked with a lot of departments in the district. We're under academic services with Dr. Coleman under that umbrella, but we work closely with other departments. We work closely with diversity, equity, and poverty, even accountability. We work closely with parent engagement office, with homeless office, with, clothing assistance program, with, outside of the district, area ministries and Salvation Army, Greek letter organizations. The Omega Psi Phi holds the Men Equality Program and the Lifestyle Choices Forum for males. It's very uplifting and encouraging and self-esteem and all that. And then Youth Services Centers, being awesome, created the Women of Worth Conference to answer that gap in opportunities and inequity, and does the same thing and partners with Jefferson Community and Technical College, Sullivan, Norton, and various businesses that are all centered to the same purpose, and that's to help and to reach. It takes a village, and people say it all the time, so it kind of becomes like a, overused adage, but it is true. It does take a village, and we definitely appreciate and embrace our village to help our students.
Thank you. And I've often said that we are a one-stop shop of support. So absolutely. I can tell equally that each one of you all are one-stop shops of support with absolutely. Several resources and information and collaborative partners. And so, Anita, I just wanted to see if you all had any questions in the chat.
Well, thank you, Madeline. Yes, we do. First question we have, can parents, staff, and students suggest programs to their center coordinators?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So let me just elaborate on that a little bit, Adrian. So every other year, coordinators will send something home to families, and it is our needs assessment. And that is one way that you can have input as a parent or a student. Definitely fill out your needs assessment. That's my shameless plug. We really want you to do that and get that done. But at any time, you can contact the coordinator at your school or at your student's school and offer suggestions. And I will give a disclaimer for that. It doesn't mean that we will make that program or that suggestion a reality, but we do welcome it, because what we would like for our centers to reflect is our school buildings and what our families and our students need. So all suggestions are welcome.
Excellent. Thank you. That was very helpful. And that needs-based assessment is very important. So please do that. If you get that link, please complete that. And the next question, Anita.
Okay, next question, everyone. With so many families struggling with food and financial resources in these times, how can Friskies be of service? And I do want everyone to know that I posted the Neighborhood Place contact information on the website, but please go ahead with that answer.
You know, that's a great start right there. The Neighborhood Place and any community agencies, like I said, area ministries, help a lot. It's important to let us know. You reach out to us. We'll do our best to find some way of helping. Very seldom will you ever hear a Frisky say, "I can't help you with it." That's just not even in our vocabulary. That's not how we operate. We'll find a way to help. And office hours are office hours, but they really don't apply to most Friskies. We're in a needs-based service, so we help whenever it's necessary. So reach out to us the best way you can. Contact the school, visit us on the website, get to us directly, get to us from one of your students, another student you may have at a different building. They can contact us. Neighbor, friends. I've been stopped at grocery stores. I've been stopped out in public. Friends of students have needed help. We'll help either way.
Excellent. That is so true. We are definitely available to you. And did you have any additional questions, Anita? If not, we'll go ahead and proceed with the next few questions.
I do have one additional question, kind of still on this same topic, Madeline, before we move forward. How can a school get their own youth service center?
If you all don't mind.
Okay, I can speak about.
Yes, go ahead.
I can speak a little bit about that. So the Family Resource Center program itself is a grant program. So you can request a coordinator at your school if you do not have one, but that does take, it's a process for one. So let me just say that, and it takes buy-in from the people in that building. So the principal has to kind of be on board, the counselors. If that school has a SBDM, they are required to be a part of that process as well. And then it has to be an application. So when the state opens up applications for that, then you have to submit an application and be approved before you can get one.
And to that point, it's important to note that, Friskies is a grant program, and it came from the Kentucky Educational Reform Act. And we've long had to fight for, not fight, but advocate and lobby, literally, for support from our state legislature and policymakers. Thankfully, we've gotten to the point where we have bipartisan support, which is, as we all know, unheard of at times like this. And across the board, they love the job we do, and they see how beneficial it is. So recently, there's been cuts, but there was a major push to add more centers. Our district, every time the state had to cut back, Jefferson County Public Schools filled in that gap with funds. So if you happen to be at a school that doesn't have a Frisky, first of all, you can still get frisky-related help. I've helped families that are at schools that don't have a frisky, and it wasn't a problem to do, and I'd gladly do it again. So I would say call any frisky. I'll say at this point, call me and Ms. Petaway. We will help you. We'll find someone to help you. So don't worry about what's not in your building. Those same resources, the same efforts, the same. We are employees of the state and Jefferson County Public Schools. So our mission, our goals, our passions, our desire is to help every student in the state and Jefferson County Public Schools. So, I had a middle school and would send students to the high school. And when a grant period came around, I wrote a grant to include the high school. And then when a grant period came around, we wrote a grant to separate the middle and high. And then when grant periods come around, there's schools that say, hey, I want a center. So we have an addition. We used to have less than 100 centers and just, a lot less coordinators. So, schools serve, less than 100 schools serve and a lot less coordinators and centers serving those schools. Now, as Madeline said, we're 107 centers with 141 schools served. So there is an opportunity. So don't hold out hope. Once upon a time, I would have said it's not going to happen. We just won't have additional schools. And then, like I said, that bipartisan support and the district really embracing our efforts and our role in supporting us just kind of created the avenue for us to be able to expand. And maybe one day every school will have someone on hand to help. But I think most schools are covered. And like I said, if you're not, contact Mr. Graham at Eastern, contact Ms. Petaway at Binet or Seneca. And then I'm sure there's a ton of other Friskies that would love to help as well.
Excellent. Thank you. And just one little fun fact I would like to throw in there, that over the past 3 years, 300,000 students have been served who are free and reduced lunch eligible, but also Friskies have potential to serve 600,000 students each school year, not including the 0 to 3 population. It shows that an average make 12 million Frisky contacts and student contacts, 4 million family contacts each year. So just so you know, we are a great team working together to create and support our families. Just showing the contact relationship, it definitely is far reaching and is not set to just one school. I'm sure that those are several contacts that have happened outside of just our building. Yeah. So I wanted to go ahead and ask question number 5. If I were a parent and wanted to contact my students through the YSC, how do I reach them? Please give all means of contact. Although you've already mentioned a few things, Alicia, how would they go about contacting you?
Okay, so there are several ways that we can be contacted. So I do believe that Anita is going to post something in the chat box. So that is an avenue. That website is an avenue. There should also be a Frisky email that you can send us an email, and it will be directed to the corresponding coordinator for your child's school. But we have the school websites. All of the coordinators are listed on their school website, so you can use that avenue. And then we have a Frisky website as well, and you can do that. But if all else fails, if you can't figure out any other way, call the school directly, and the clerks or whoever answers the door answers their phone. Do not go to the schools yet. I'm so sorry, don't do that. But call the school, and then they will connect you with the coordinator that is supposed to be, for you. And we all have a means to communicate during this pandemic, so don't worry about that. Just call the school and they will get you in contact with us.
Excellent. Thank you. Very, very helpful. I know during NTI, having a variety of reaching points is important. Question number 6, I would like to ask, what are some important information that you would like parents and guardians to be aware of about your school in the start of the school year? So anything essential that you would want them to know as far as forms or things that they need to complete?
Get to know your Frisky. That's like I said, I'm biased, so I have to say it. Get to know your Frisky. And even if you haven't used your Frisky or Youth Services Center coordinators or in the past, and you feel like you have no intention on using them in the future, it's still safe to just know how to contact us. You may even want to volunteer with us. You may want to donate to us if you're in a position to where you don't feel like you would need us. But need knows no racial bounds or economic bounds. So anyone can, we're like insurance. Anyone can need us at any time. And we've helped people who would have sworn there's no way I will ever need you. I had a middle and high. And then as seniors and a junior, two siblings had to see me, and I helped with a sensitive situation the family was experiencing. And they said, I thought you were just work with Black kids or just the poor kids. Or, I would see you in the halls and I knew you did that or that, but I didn't think you, would help with things like this. And this was a custody dispute, and it was an unsafe situation, and we helped the two of them. And, ever since then, it's just every time they said, Mr. Graham, Mr. Graham, Mr. Graham. And at first, they would have never suspected that they would have been working with. So it's important to just reach out. And like I said, even if you just want to volunteer or donate and help with us. I've had countless parents, thankfully, to say, what can we do to help? How can I help? People know throughout this building and different parts of other schools or district that I go to, I always say, Goodwill's going to be mad at me. Because I always tell families, don't necessarily be eager to give clothes to Goodwill. Give it to the Clothing Assistance Program. Because they give clothes away to our students, not sell it. You get the same tax write-off. It's the same benefit, but it helps the students in our building. And there have been situations where even teachers in my building have given clothes, and then they'll come and see me. One time in particular, a teacher was teary-eyed, and he said, there's a shirt that sat in my closet for years that I keep seeing the same student wear at least twice a week. It's like, that's the way it works. So one person's trash is another person's treasure type frame of mind. So use those avenues, regardless of whether you need the help or whether you want to volunteer and give for the help. And that's in the building. So, and if you don't, we've said this already, if you don't have a Frisky in your building, reach out. We'll find some way to help you. We'll find someone to help you. I volunteered. Ms. Pettaway volunteered. There are others who will volunteer. It's not a big deal to us. It's giving. It's helping. That's what we do. Someone told me, you really like your job, don't you? I said, I love it. They said, but you must really feel like you are doing mission work. So that's exactly what I feel like it is. So it's a job, but there's something deeper, something greater to what we're doing. So to that point, get to know your teachers too. I'm gonna stay on topic, I'm sorry. Get to know who your teachers are. Don't let your kid come to the building and you don't know who they are seeing and how they're reaching your student and how they're educating your child. You can be connected to Parent Portal and be, in real time, find out, did your kid miss class? Did they not turn in some work they were supposed to? This is real time. You can spy on your kids with Parent Portal and connect to your building for their benefit, of course. And then you reach out to the school and they can get you connected with that. You'll likely be contacted by your Frisky regarding the educational benefits form. You may not feel like you need free and reduced lunch services, but that form needs to be filled out by everyone in the building because it benefits the building and it benefits those students who don't have those luxuries to not have to worry about something like that. And the thing is, so when I was in school, your lunch number, either the prefix or suffix of the lunch number, would identify whether you are a paid student or a reduced student or free student. And beyond that, when you come to the counter to check out, you're either paying full price, you're paying a reduced amount, or you're paying nothing at all. And that immediately will identify that kid's free, that kid's reduced. That stigma isn't even associated with the way the EBF forms or the educational benefits forms are now, and the lunch applications. The way those are done now, there's a generic number that everyone has. There's no way to identify who's paid, who's reduced, or any of that. The stigma is completely removed. You have no money is exchanged. You have accounts that you operate under. So it's a much different situation. And, like I said, it benefits the building. It benefits the other students. So please fill those out. You will, like I said, likely be contacted by Frisky trying to get you to fill it out if you haven't. But don't use that as an opportunity to get to know your Frisky. Just do it before we have to come find you. And then there's also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, thank you very much. I was going to allow Alicia a little opportunity to speak as well to see if there were any forms that she wanted to emphasize as well.
So there's a couple, of course. There is a residency form that is very important. We would like for every single student in the district to fill out that form. So please, please, please fill it out. And we know that there are lots of forms, but they are very, very important. Also, we're not in the building right now, but we will hopefully soon, one day in the near future, maybe be back in the building. The medication form is very important. So once we get back in the brick and mortar buildings, if your student is on any type of medication, whether it be over the counter or prescription, we need that medication form. We cannot administer any medication to your student without that form. So that is also important as well. And then if you haven't already, I don't know, I'm hoping most of the parents who are watching have already done this, but all the parent forms, they are in the parent place. So please make sure all of those are complete. We would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That is awesome. And Alicia, because I have you on, I wanted to go ahead and do an aha moment, something that you would like to share that has been beneficial for you in making an impact in a student or a family's life.
Oh gosh, there's so many. This is my 11th year, so I have tons and tons of aha moments. But I would say the ones that are probably more and the most impactful for me are the students who come back, who you don't realize at the time that they're listening to anything that you say, or you don't realize at the time a program that you put on benefited them in any type of way. So the aha moments for me are when the students come back and say, thank you, Ms. Pettaway, for believing in me, or thank you for being hard on me. You made me do what I needed to do to graduate, or any of those type of I was listening type situations are my aha moments.
Awesome. Thank you. And Adrian, would you like to share one of your aha moments as well?
Just like Ms. Pettaway said, when students come back, and this is where I am now. I was actually listening when you work with. We've worked with students who are homeless, and homeless by the legal definition. Not you don't have a stable place to sleep. But many of us have experienced students that are homeless in that they sleep outside. They're homeless. We had a student years ago who found out he was sleeping in the building, literally homeless on park benches. And, we had a conversation, and I've known this student for a while, and he had given up. And I said, well, years ago, you told me you wanted to do this. Yeah, but I can't do that. It's not going to work. This is this and that. So we had a pathway for him to get to where he wanted to go. It was just kind of the finish line was, let's get you to graduation, then you're going to college. He said he wanted to go to college, so we want to make sure that happened. He went. He wanted to go. He got to the point where he was telling people, I'm going to this university. And I would pull him to the side and say, you're not going there. You're not going. It's like, oh, Mr. Graham, why you hating? It's like, that's not hating, but don't lie to yourself. you're not going to go to that school. This school, and I sat them down, I said, this school has this average GPA to start. This school has this average test score to start. I said, I'm not saying you can never go to this school, but, you know, for reasons of his own and not of his own, he wasn't prepared in his high school time to get there. Fast forward, he sends me an email out of nowhere. Mr. Graham, just dropping you a line. I'm at, I think he was in Colorado at the time with a junior college playing football, running track, I'm sorry. He said, just wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me and this and that. And, you know, I was having my man cry moment. I was fighting back because that particular student really meant a lot to me. All the students mean a lot to us, but he had given up. And we, and it was a collective unit, collaboration, but we made sure he wouldn't do that based on his circumstances. So we had that email and we stayed in contact, and then he came to see me. Mr. Graham, I graduated. Now I'm a graduate assistant at this school. I'm coaching and I'm working on my master's. I have my house and you should see it. He was showing me pictures of it. He said, you know, I'm never going to be homeless again. I have this. Said I'm working on learning about this real estate thing, and you know, and it was just kind of like it was warming my heart. So that was one particular situation where he came back and reached out to us. But and I'm just slide this in real quick. So I was on vacation in Florida, in Orlando, and you know, we love our jobs, but every now and then we need vacation. So it's early in the morning, we're getting ready to set out, and on the TV, I'm watching the news. My daughters say, that's Daddy's show, the news. I'm always watching it. And I heard Family Resource Youth Service Centers of Kentucky. And immediately I'm thinking, I'm in Florida. I'm thinking, yeah, I really needed this vacation. It's in my brain. Frisky's on my brain. But no, they were running a news story on, so I was just wowed by that. And then learned that a program in California was based off the Frisky program. But even further, the Kentucky Educational Reform Act birthed Frisky. The Kentucky Educational Reform Act in 1990 was a groundbreaking legislation, groundbreaking policy in education. It was, I can't say it created, I can't say it was the catalyst for, but it became a framework for parts of the No Child Left Behind legislation in 2001, which then went into Every Student Succeeds Act. So these are major educational reforms. And Kara, where Friskies come from, had a hand in that. So it's just, I mean, I don't know if that's an aha or a wow moment for me that just really makes you really embrace the role that we have and just, the support we get from the state, the support we get from the district, the support we get in our buildings, it is just unmatched. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. That's excellent. And I agree. It's great to know that we have made a huge impact and continue to make an impact around the world. And so I want to go ahead and allow Anita an opportunity to see if we have any wonderful questions in the chat. Anita?
Yes, everyone, we do. First question would be, what is the most needed item that can be donated to a YSC?
So it really depends on the school and what the school needs. So if someone is wanting to donate, they can contact the school and ask the coordinator what they are in need of at that particular time. I know for me personally, it's hygiene items, but that could be different, for Madeline School or for Adrian School. So it really just depends on the school.
I agree. It really depends on the school. Holiday assistance is great. Not necessarily money and gift cards. Some people want to help, and I say, okay, I appreciate this card, but if you could, can you take this and go buy something with it? Angel trees, angel trees from within the school, Thanksgiving assistance, that food and those needs as needed. So, willing to help is amazing. It's great. It's awesome. like Ms. Pettaway said, reach out to your school, reach out to your Frisky, see what the need is, or just kind of be ready. If, you know, kind of reach out and say, I'm willing to help when you need me. That's perfect. That's amazing right there.
Thank you so much. Anita, did you have additional questions?
One more good question, Madeline. How can parents get involved in their youth service center or family resource center?
Yay!
Yeah.
There are tons of ways. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for that question. Can y'all tell? So each family resource center has an advisory council. I know for me personally, it has been difficult for me to keep a parent on my advisory council. We need parents on the advisory council. So please, please, please contact your coordinator. And if you are a Seneca parent, please contact me immediately. That would be great. But also, we welcome any volunteers into our centers. Normally, that would be very easy to do. With the pandemic, there's a lot of restrictions and stuff because we're not allowed in the buildings right now, and definitely no visitors at this time. But do not give up. Please keep in contact with your coordinator. We will definitely let you know when there are any volunteer opportunities for sure. And then we always, you know, welcome suggestions and feedback so that we can be better at what we do. Our primary focus is to serve our families, and we definitely want to do that in the best way possible.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I wanted to go ahead and leave out with a couple of last questions. But Danita, did you have any additional one that wanted to add to my last couple of questions?
Thank you, Madeline. At this time, I think we're okay. We've looked at it. So, are you?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Madeline, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. We're super excited that we're doing these conversations. And so I wanted to know, what are the additional topics and guests that you all plan to have with resources and information? And feel free to answer that question.
So, go ahead.
Sorry. So we will be on this channel every second and fourth Monday. It will always be at 1 o'clock, second and fourth Monday, and we will have a variety of topics and speakers. It will not always be us. We just wanted to introduce ourselves to you for this first one, but there will be community partners and community agencies. So I know a couple of the ones that are coming up in the near future are transitioning students. So from fifth grade to the middle school, from middle school to high school, those will be topics. There will also be a talk about FAFSA and applying for FAFSA for your students who will be entering college. There is a holiday Monday chat, and I think we may be even doing some fun recipes for that one. So we have a lot of good, interesting topics for our students and our families, and hopefully you guys see the benefit and it is helpful to you.
Thank you so much. That sounds like it's going to be a wealth of information, and we're going to have a great time here on the Monday Talk Show. And just want to check back in with Anita, just make sure I didn't miss anything before we conclude our program.
Madeline, just checking through the list of questions and comments, and at this point we do not have any additional questions, but wonderful comments from those out there in chat land. We're doing an awesome job, and thank you guys.
We're just super excited for our first show, and hopefully everyone's enjoyed and gotten a lot from it today. Please contact your Frisky. We are here to support you in all things, in all aspects. Please reach out. If you haven't learned anything today, we want you to know that we are available to you. We are here to serve you. We are here to support your family. And so we're just so happy to be here today to help you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all so much. I believe Kevin sent me a video. Am I supposed to play that now? Yes? I think that's correct. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. Let me pull it over, and you won't be able to see it because I'm not sharing my screen, but it will be playing. So here we go. Oh no, Kevin, it still says it's processing. No, here we go. All right, that is the end of the video. It was great. I was afraid to put some music over top of it because I didn't want an ad to play.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate being here today. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you so much for the awesome work you all do for our students and for our families. We really appreciate you. And hopefully you all saw a lot of that love in the chat. People were really loving you guys up. So thank you. Bye, you all. Have a great Monday.
You too.
Thanks.